morning, everybody. It's time for the evening update. Second one in a row. I am watching this storm walking down here to the beach. You can see those dark clouds of rain is starting to fall. Looks like the tractors built the berm up here, trying to protect our little community here along the beach. You can see that flag is blowing pretty good there. Over here, wind is starting to really come up here. I'm going to say about 12 knots right now. Not that bad. It's going to get worse tomorrow, and we'll climb up this berm and see what this ocean looks like. Doesn't look too bad right now. And again, this rain is starting to fall a little bit. Jump up here. There you go. Get a little better look at it. I'm under orders from Scott Buchert to do the evening update here. So here I am at sunset, and it is starting to rough up. You look over there at the jetty and over towards San Pedro, California, and you can see that the waves are starting to crash up there on that jetty. Looks ominous, doesn't it? Look at Catalina Island out there, shrouded in these dark clouds. But we're going to cover exactly what is going to go on with this next storm. It's supposed to punch a lot more punch than this last one did. The last one wasn't much at all. This next one is supposed to be a lot nastier. All right, here we go, everybody. We're going to cover the Grunion run that is coming up here in just 2 more days. I'll talk to you about that, have some observations about some other things that are going on in sport fishing. Of course, our March 23rd day. It's my birthday. That's not the important part. The important part is we're all going to get together down there on Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some surf fishing, beach cleanup. If you just want to show up and chat, have a cup of coffee, please feel free to do that. We would love to have you with us. It's going to be good. Don't forget to hit that like button. You can follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. It is starting to come up a little bit here, but really not all that bad. We'll take a nice walk here this evening and show you around a little bit. The Grunion run is going to start on Southern California beaches on March the 14th, and then it ends on March the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. Now, I'm not going to offer you any science here, but I'm going to tell you, I walked out on a beach like this. It was over in Redondo Beach with my father when I was 5 years old. I can still remember it. I can still remember my dad taking me out there and the Grunion swimming all over the place. It's a memory that I will never, ever forget. That is for sure. So for all these years, I took my kids and we did it, Patrick and Philip and I. We did it many, many times, and we even do it now up into today because, of course, we like to fish during the Grunion runs. But I will tell you right now, I would go the second night. I would go the second night, and I would not go during the first hour. So I didn't look at the hours, but let's just say it says 7 to 9 o'clock. I wouldn't go down there any earlier than 8 o'clock. Go at least an hour into it, because you come down here too early, especially if you're bringing kids, and you come down here too early, and man, it's cold and it's miserable and you don't see anything, and kids just lose interest. In fact, I lose interest. I don't like being in this cold, windy weather. So come down about an hour before the end, and more than likely you'll walk down and find some Grunion. Now, they don't run every single night, so you have to be aware of that. You need to check with the Department of Fish and Wildlife and make sure it's open season if you intend to take any of them. They're great to take. Some people like to eat them. They're fantastic bait. You can only take 30 per person. And once again, you have to have a fishing license, a California fishing license, to partake in that, unless you're 16 or under, and then you can have at it. But only 30 is what you're allowed per person. And it's really a remarkable thing to see. If you take the kids out, they're going to have their minds blown. I mean, seriously, I'm, 67 years old here on March the 23rd. And I can still remember being 5 years old with my father down there in Redondo Beach. Still remember him out there showing us that, and it was a fantastic night, and I know you're going to all enjoy that if you get a chance to do it. It's a little chilly down here. The wind's starting to come up, and as you can see, there's some rain falling out there toward Catalina Island for sure, and over here toward St. Peter, I can see some of that rain falling. All right, so let's talk about this next storm. Tomorrow, out of the question because of the wind, for one thing. The rain is already starting to batter San Francisco. It's going to move into the Channel Island area. It looks like, from everything I've seen, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then show up in LA around 3, 4. Here in Orange County, about the same thing. It's going to hammer San Diego really hard also, and it's going to get into northern Baja, Tijuana, Ensenada. Areas like that are going to get a lot of rain out of this. It's going to be kind of a short duration. I would say maybe 3 hours is what you're going to get. And I have seen, looking at it, some really powerful cells, like even those magenta colored. You get the red, and those are thunderstorms, but you rarely see that magenta colored kind of look on the radar. And that's an indication of thunderstorms for sure, and a lot of wind associated with it. So I'm not sure exactly where that's going to manifest itself, but somewhere in California, you're going to have some thunder and lightning. And it wouldn't surprise me if you wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning to the sound of rain coming down. Some hail is even possible here in Southern California. And also, as I said, thunder and lightning is also in the cards. And it's going to be followed by a very stiff clearing wind. This rain, if I had to guess, should be out of here by about 7, 8 a.m. Now, that's not to say there's not going to be some conductive cells back behind it that might come through and rain on some areas. It could be really heavy at times for that matter, but for the most part, it should be out of here by about 8 a.m. Of course, the commute for many drivers is going to be pretty tough because most of this rain's coming down. It's going to be pretty heavy around 3 to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Peak time to be commuting, so be careful, drive safely. And also, I want to admonish you all that I want you to be extremely careful. And by that, I mean, don't even think about going out on the water tomorrow. Don't even think about surf fishing here. It's going to be far too dangerous. Some dummies that I know actually turn their back to the sea when a big wave's coming in, and they get hit from behind, and some people get knocked out and washed away. So be very careful. Of course, I'm talking about yours truly. Got doused by a big wave just the other day. So remember, forget it. You can even look at that jetty over there, and you ain't seen nothing yet. And those waves are starting to crash on the jetty right now as we speak. As you can see back there, you're seeing those waves crash up there. You're standing out there, you can get washed out to sea, and you get caught in a rip current or something, and it's adios. There's plenty of really great days ahead, so please keep that in mind. All right, one more thing. Well, I have a couple things. Scott, are you okay with me here tonight? You asked for the morning briefing, and here it is. I just dropped day 4 of fishing on the Independence on our trip in 2024. It was an 8-day trip in November with an extraordinary group of anglers. Those guys were so good on that trip. Guys, and Jolene Thompson was there also. Jolene's fantastic, caught a lot of fish on that trip. More than that, just had a really great time. So once again, that video just dropped. It's really fantastic. You're going to love it because we've got Brian Pfeiffer, the captain of the Independence. He is on there giving a fantastic seminar on yellowtail fishing. If you want to up your game on catching yellowtail, if you want to know what kind of hooks to use, how you fish a Lehos bank and rocks, how you catch more yellowfin tuna, you're going to want to watch this day 4 of our 8-day trip on board the Independence. And there is a lot of action on there. We caught a lot of nice yellowfin tuna. They were beautiful fish, and I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy it. So it's a mix of learning something as well as being entertained. And you'll even get to see the guys fishing for bait at night, which is always a thrill, catching big scad mackerel and Spanish mackerel that, of course, we're going to use for our yellowtail fishing during the nighttime. That yellowtail bite manifested itself kind of late at night. We saw that show up, after midnight. So a lot of guys go to bed and then wake up and give it a try after that. So day 4 of our 8-day trip dropped. That video dropped, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So go watch that. One other thing worth mentioning about the Grunion, and I said that I even go to Grunion runs now with my kids when they're around. That is because when that Grunion moves up on the beach, it is just an important, integral part of the food chain. Those Grunion move up on the beach, predators come in behind it like halibut, yellowfin, croaker, corbina, shovel-nosed sharks, or guitar fish as we call them. Halibut. I mean, anything out there is going to be attracted by this mass of fish that moves up on the beach. And the incredible thing is, besides all the predators in the water, the bird life is incredible. Sometimes it's gulls, a lot of times it's the blue herons. And here on our beach here in Surfside, California, sometimes I will walk out here and I'll be thinking to myself, hey, are we gonna have a Grunion run tonight or not? And then I'll walk down and there are about 12 blue herons, all with their nose pointed out to sea. There's no evidence of Grunion in the water. You don't see them or anything else, at least for my eye, the naked eye, I don't see them. But those blue herons certainly know something because they're just pointed with their nose out to sea. It's as if they know it's gonna happen. And more times than not, it does. When you see those blue heron all lined up, or any other bird life, it is spectacular. There's some big leopard sharks that wind up here on the beaches also. When it's open season, you can take a Grunion, put a hook in it, and toss it out there and hang some really nice fish. As I mentioned before, I think last night on the evening briefing, my son Patrick, Philip, a whole bunch of us guys were down here, Baba Osborne, and we were just catching these big yellowfin croaker at night. It was really spectacular, really, really good stuff. So once again, here in Southern California, we're dealing with inclement weather, and it's going to be way too rough and dangerous for that matter. Here in a few more hours, we're going to start to get some pretty, heavy rain. I can see the sun even breaking through the clouds there a little bit. It's really a mix of an ominous looking ocean just starting to blow right now. And then you look back and you can see that cloud with the sun shining through. You're not going to see any of that sun at 3 o'clock in the morning because it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's going to be heavy rain. It sounds like 3 to 6 a.m. with some cells back behind it that are going to douse some other areas as we go along. All right, I don't know what else to cover with you. March 23rd is going to be a fantastic day down here in the surf. I really would love to see you. It'll be so much fun. We'll have a great time. The Freeman Adventure family members, all of them. I'm not even going to start mentioning any names because we have just been blessed with so many really wonderful and great people. It is really a pleasure to hang out with so many great people. And of course, we continue with our Mexico efforts. We're shipping more stuff down to Mexico. Perhaps you saw Anthony and I down at 22nd Street Landing the other day getting more boxes that we're getting over to the warehouse to go to Mexico. So that is all great stuff. Also, we're going to continue those efforts as we go along. It's kind of a constant mission to send more and more medical supplies and so much down to Mexico. And we do that in your name because you're the ones who donate all that stuff. You're the ones who donate the clothing. You donate the medical supplies, the sporting equipment, the fishing equipment that's going down to Cedros Island and several other areas. It is really a beautiful thing. Remember, there's no real safety net in Mexico. So as Americans, I feel like reaching our hand across the border and helping our brothers and sisters in Mexico is a great thing to do. And so many of you concur because you're so damn kind and you're so generous that brings a tear to my eye. You guys are awesome in everything that you do. All right, my friends, hey, we have a little bit of room on a few charters. I think we've got a few spots left on our reverse 2.5-day trip on board the Apollo. She's beautiful. This year, we are limiting that trip to 18. We had 23 on there, I think, last year. 18 We do overbook by 2 in some cases. Many times we just go with the 18, but that trip is leaving in June, reverse 2.5 day. That means we leave at 10 a.m. and then we are in our area to make squid, if we were gonna fish white sea bass and halibut, to fish bluefin. If we were gonna fish bluefin at night, we're there at night. Last year's trip, we pulled into the bluefin zone and started catching 100-pounders right away. It was great, great trip, beautiful boat, wonderful food. The Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing. That's just one trip, and then we have the Amigo in the fall. That's booked up almost because every single year with Mark Paisano Jr. and Mark Sonata and all the guys on the Amigo that we love so much, that is such a great trip. Also, there's a 5-day trip on board the Independence coming up in April, the 21st through the 26th. You book that one at www.independencesportfishing.com. And then we have a couple of other trips also that you are more than welcome to join us on if you act quick. Send me a text, I'll send you the list, and we'll get you on board with us. 657-227-6459. Let's take a look at this. Oh my goodness, looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? It's really beautiful, and we're gonna feel the power and the force of Mother Nature here shortly. It is supposed to rain. We're gonna have some thunder and lightning. Who knows what else, what other fun we might have. Some hail and some stuff like that. All right, some people, as you can see down there, getting their walk in before all this rain starts. It's a good time to do it, that is for sure. And once again, I'll be watching everything for you very, very closely. I'll be down probably at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California tomorrow. Got a lot of work to do over there in that neck of the woods, still organizing our Mexico stuff and doing a lot more. And so it will be great to, of course, see you if you happen to be around there. Drop by the studio. If the door's open, that means you're welcome to walk in and say hi. It's always good to see folks. All right, my friends, have a great evening. Great to be with you. And, well, wait a minute. That's right. Should be interesting tomorrow morning with the morning briefing, huh? Will I get doused? What will that ocean look like? I bet it's pretty nasty. I bet it's pretty windy. Well, a few more hours we'll find out about that as I'll be down there doing my thing. All right, my friends, have a great evening. This has been the Freeman Adventures Evening Update. For Scott Bouchard, I did this one. And for all of you, it's always great being with you. Take care, hit the like button, and I hope to see you really, really